Jonathan, thanks for joining us today on the show, sir. How are you?
Doing well, James. Nice to be with you.
I appreciate you taking the time today. I usually start these out with a question pertinent to the show topic, and I was thinking, what is a easy mushroom or a good mushroom for people to look for, new beginning foragers that they can recognize and maybe seek out if they want to get started in mushroom foraging.
For beginner mushrooms, depends on the time of year. I would say for in the spring, for about the month of April, morels are really easy to spot, or they're not easy to spot, but they're really easy to identify. There's only one look-alike that's not edible, and it's not hollow on the inside. True morels are hollow, so if you think you found a morel, count yourself very lucky. Slice the mushroom open, and if it's hollow on the inside, you're good to go. They're one of the most delicious mushrooms you'll ever eat. This time of the year, I was on a hike today with my dogs, and I found some chanterelles. It's been dry lately, so this one's a little bit dried up, and they weren't not as abundant as normal. But from about late June through mid to late September, you can find chanterelles, and they're pretty easy to find. They're yellow or orange or red or something brightly colored,
Yeah.
and there's really not really any lookalikes to that. There's one. It's called the jack-o'-lantern, but it has gills. True chanterelles don't have gills; they have ridges. I don't know if you could see this on film. This one's got a
Pretty
little,
good.
but they smell like apricots. So they're really delicious. They're easy to find. They're pretty abundant. So it's kind of this time of year. Honestly, it's kind of hard to go for a hike in the woods for more than an hour or so and not find some. So they're really pretty common. Also, from about May through October, you can find chicken of the woods, and
Oh
those
yeah.
are really easy to identify. They're brightly colored. They're orange, usually yellow on the underneath, or sometimes white. It's a polypore. There's no lookalikes, and it's called chicken of the woods because it literally tastes like chicken. If you catch it in the right stage and you cook it right, it tastes just like chicken. If it wasn't for the color, you could give it to somebody and they wouldn't know that it wasn't chicken. It's that good. I like to bread and fry mine and eat it just like fried chicken. Really, really good.
Chicken of the woods tenders, huh?
That's right. That's
I
right. Like
like it.
from Alfredo.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It's something that I've just gotten into kind of just recently. The more well, I can't say I just got into it, but I feel more proficient in it. I don't know what the change was. I think there's something to like understanding all the parts of mushrooms in general, right? And then kind of you feel more comfortable about identifying different types. Because,
That's
like you said, start looking for things like gills and no gills. You start looking for different parts of the mushroom that you understand, as opposed to when you don't really know what you're looking at. You're just kind of kicking toadstools.
yeah. You build confidence as you do it. There's a lot of fear out there. People are taught as kids to not eat mushrooms, and there's actually a lot fewer poisonous ones than people realize, and there's a whole lot of edible ones. Another one that's good for a beginner would be the hedgehog mushroom,
Oh
and
yeah.
so your common mushrooms either have gills or ridges like a chanterelle, or pores like the chicken of the woods, or teeth like a hedgehog, and underneath the cap, instead of having gills like the ones we're used to from the grocery store, it actually has teeth. And there is no toothed mushroom that exists that is poisonous. So you find
Ah,
it,
that's a good tip.
yeah, you're likely to find, it's likely to be a hedgehog. If it looks kind of like this, but it has teeth underneath, that's a hedgehog. It actually kind of looks like a baked biscuit on top. So you're good to eat that. They're very, very delicious. It's either going to be a delicious hedgehog, or it's going to be a one that's too tough that you wouldn't even think to eat it because it's obviously not very palatable. But there's things like that. Like, you're not going to go wrong with certain mushrooms, and it's a lot easier than people realize. And there's actually quite a large number. I'm in the Appalachian Mountains, and there's
Oh
quite a
yeah.
large number of mushrooms that grow around here that are edible. Some are very choice, some are not so bad, but yeah, it just takes time in the woods. And almost every time I go foraging for mushrooms, I find a mushroom that I don't know what it is. It looks interesting. I'll bring it home and I'll try to look it up and see if I can identify it.
That's a
Um,
great step and a
might
great
not
tip,
be edible,
right?
but you kind of just build your mushroom inventory that way. So.
Yeah. How'd you get started? Where'd all your experience come from with you mushroom foraging? Was it just going into the woods and being there?
Yeah, I've always been interested in it since I was a kid. And then during COVID, when COVID happened and the lockdown was in effect, I happened to be living on a 500-acre farm.
Cool.
And there was not much to do, and so every day I just walked the trails with my dogs, and I started. And that property was just so abundant with so many good mushrooms. I found just about everything you can name. I found out there in pretty good quantity. On a good
Wow.
day, with the weather, with the conditions right, and in the right spot, I would come home with a basket, literally a basket overflowing with chanterelles, about 10 pounds of chanterelles from just a few hours of walking in the woods. And mushrooms, choice mushrooms. First of all, a mushroom like a chanterelle, you can't buy that in the store. The only way to get it is to go get it yourself in the woods or pay somebody who did. And if
Oh
you
yeah.
do find somebody to pay that went out and got them, they're anywhere from $20, $30 a pound. So if you come back with a basket full of 10 pounds of mushrooms, it's pretty good value. You can freeze them, you can store them for later. All mushrooms are medicinal, so not only are they delicious, but they have health benefits. Every mushroom has beta glucans and polysaccharides. They're all anti-cancer, some more to a higher degree
Wow.
than others. The lion's mane mushroom, for example, is really good for the brain. It helps prevent dementia and reverse dementia, things like that. So
Yeah, I've heard a lot
all
of good
mushrooms
things
are,
about the lion's mane.
yeah, all mushrooms are medicinal, and they're free for the picking if you just know where and when to look.
I'm pretty sure I found one last year. It
Nice.
was growing. It was about the end of summer, and it was growing way up on a living tree.
Yep. Yep.
And I looked up there, and when I first saw it, I thought it was a puffball.
Uh huh.
And I was like, I don't know if they grow up high on trees like that,
No, that
but
was
it's
a lion's mane.
yeah, it sounded like that. Oh, I could zoom down on my camera. Yeah, that was really cool find, man. I don't know how I would have got it down, but I figured that's what it was. But I didn't know they grew around me, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
We did a hike through the Appalachian Mountains last month, and in the nighttime, it was just like through the nighttime, and we found lots of mushrooms on the Appalachian Trail, right on the trail itself. So
Nice.
they're abundant up there,
Yeah.
I guess, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it's been raining, they're water dependent, so it needs to be a wet season. If it's dry, you're
Yeah.
probably not going to find many. But if it's been raining a lot and you go out in the woods, you're probably going to find something. One of my favorites is coming up. It's called a September. I call it a September mushroom because you pretty much only find it in September, and it's the hen of the woods. Also known as the dancing mushroom, because when you find it, and it grows at the base of oak trees, and usually
Okay.
if you find one, you find three or four around the same tree. Once a tree's infected, it'll sprout, maybe every few years or so when the conditions are right. And it is so meaty and so delicious and very medicinal. It's called the dancing mushroom. The one theory is that the frills of the mushroom kind of look like the skirt of a
I
dancing
could see
woman.
that. The
But
maitake mushroom, right? Is that the same one we're talking about?
exactly, the
Yeah.
maitake. The other theory is that once you find them, because they're not super easy to find, but once you find them, you have more mushrooms than you can eat, and they're so good that people start dancing because they're so excited that they just found them.
It's funny you say that. My neighbor brought me like a shopping bag full of them last year that she'd
Nice,
found on her property, and they showed up at my door.
nice.
I don't know if I danced or not. Can't remember, but it was a good day. I'll tell you what, it was definitely a good day, good meal.
It's thrilling to find them.
Yeah, for sure. So, along with mushrooms, right? You're going to be teaching a mushroom foraging class, but you're also going to be teaching what else?
I teach my colloidal silver for emergency preparedness class,
Oh,
and
cool.
that's my business. I make colloidal silver. I've been doing that for almost 25 years,
Nice.
and it's a really powerful supplement that is good for killing, microbes, and it's a great prepper item to have. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to ever do
sure.
without it. I don't take it every day if I feel well. It's a natural antibiotic, but when you're not feeling well, it's a crucial item to have on hand. You can use it all over the body, in the body, on the body. You can use it in the eyes or the sinuses or the lungs, and I teach people what it is, how it's made, how to use it for basically from uses from head to toe.
Sure, yeah.
Will get rid of all kinds of common ailments. Can't make any claims, but it's very very useful. And I teach that class every year, and it's very valuable information. So
What's your personal experience using it? I know some people who've used it. I know it works. I know it's legit. But what I don't usually hear is people like, I took it when this happened type of thing.
any colds or flus, I always take it. If I feel a sore throat coming on, I'll start drinking it. You hold it under the tongue before you swallow. There's little tips to make it work better. But
Okay.
anytime I start to feel under the weather at all, I start taking it, and I would say at least 9 out of 10 times it nips it in the bud, and I never get sick. So it keeps me well. If my eye is irritated or infected, I drop it straight in my eye. Works every time. Works very quickly. I was having a sneezing attack one day, and I just, for whatever reason, whatever got in my nose, I couldn't stop sneezing. So I took a little silver. Normally I would use a nasal spray bottle. Didn't have that, so I took a dropper and I tilted my head back and I put a dropper full up each sinus, each
Nice.
nostril, and it just immediately stopped it in its tracks. For lung infections, for anybody dealing with post-COVID lung issues or any kind of infection in the lungs,
Yeah.
silver is really, really helpful. The way that you have to use it in the lungs is with a nebulizer. So I
Oh,
offer
right.
those on
Yeah,
my
that makes
website.
sense.
You can anyone that has a nebulizer, you can just put a little silver in it and use it to inhale into the lungs, and it's great. It's been proven to kill over 650 different pathogens, including viruses, bacteria, fungus, yeast. There's been all kinds of studies on it. Um, it works so well that actually it's pretty politically incorrect. Whole Foods actually, when came out, when COVID began, Whole Foods actually banned all silver products from their stores. Whole Foods is owned by Jeff Bezos, one of the not so good people. For anyone who hasn't, you
Wow. Is
probably
that a
know.
fact?
That's a fact. So because somebody somewhere made a claim that it could cure COVID, which I'm not making that claim, but somebody made that claim. So Whole Foods decided we better get this stuff out of our stores, and so they banned all silver products. I even make a topical silver gel, so topical things that you would never use, for medicinally. You just use them for the skin. They banned all silver from their stores. So
What
that's
a
kind of
response,
indication
man.
how well it works.
That's a phenomenal response, right? So, Jonathan, I've seen you at Prepper Camp many years, man. You've been there probably at least as long as I've been going.
At
And,
least 10 years, yeah.
oh, yeah. So you got me beat by like half, definitely. Um, then you got to have some good Prepper Camp memory from the days of long past.
Man, that's a tough question. I have so many good memories from prepper camp. I
It
guess
is
the
a
first year
blast.
that I went there, I was camping in a tent in Tent City, and it was my first time there. I was teaching my class there and just getting to know other people and sitting around the campfire at Tent City at night. Some of my neighbors, they were really amazing musicians, and we were just sitting around and having a good time, playing music and sitting around the campfire. So that was a good memory. Probably stayed up way too late to work in
Oh, right.
classes, but another good memory was McIntyre. He's there all the time with the leather guy wears the leather hat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He, what I love about Prepper Camp is the community where everybody gets around and shares food together. And one year
Oh,
he had
yeah.
a rattlesnake. I've never eaten a rattlesnake before, and he cooked up a rattlesnake and was sharing it with everybody, and it was quite delicious. So that was another fond memory. Thank you, McIntyre.
Not
Lot,
bad.
lots of good memories.
Not bad. So we're getting back to it at full strength in 2025. What are you looking forward most to Prepper Camp 2025?
I would say I'm looking forward most to seeing my friends. I have friends that I see every year at prepper camp, and last year I couldn't make it because of the hurricane. I literally
Yeah.
couldn't get there. The bridges were out, the roads were flooded, so unfortunately I couldn't make it. And some of my friends that I love and don't see except once a year at prepper camp, I haven't seen them in a couple of years. So I'm just looking
That's
forward to.
rough, right?
It is rough. Yeah, I'm just looking
Yeah.
forward to reuniting with the good people there. It's a place where I'm a conspiracy-minded person, and I can speak my mind, and
It's a beautiful
nobody
thing.
thinks it's weird, and everybody has good communication, good conversation, I should say, and it's just a good time. So I look forward to seeing my friends.
Yeah, it's First Amendment plus
That's
over
right.
there at Prepper Camp. Right?
That's right.
It's a nice atmosphere. Well, Jonathan, I thank you so much for coming on, sir, and look forward to seeing you at Prepper Camp myself.
Thank you, James. I look forward to seeing you as well.
It's going to be a great year.
Absolutely.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good night.